Tonight, we are taking a look at how some people are making money during these uncertain financial times. Jeff Hullinger spoke with one of our financial experts, Ted Jenkin, about side hustles.
A new survey by LendingTree finds that 44% of Americans have what is called a side hustle amid inflation, up 13% from 2020. Joining me now is the king of the side hustle, our friend Ted Jenkin, the CEO of Oxygen Financial. I mean that in a most respectful way. What is a side hustle, and how many people seem to have one today?
Well, as you're mentioning, it's roughly 1 out of 2. And hey, Jeff, good to see you. 1 out of 2 Americans right now have some sort of side hustle. That's up 13% from a year ago. The big side hustles today are things like Etsy and caretaking, and pet sitting is a big one. And of course, driver services like Uber and DoorDash. But it's nothing more than a way to earn some extra income. Some people call it cheddar. Some people call it scratch, up and above your day job, which a lot of people need right now to meet their bills, even though inflation came down a little bit, it's still to meet housing costs and food and entertainment.
What are the biggest paying side hustles that are out there right now?
Well, I think, Jeff, that the pandemic and remote work has really changed us in terms of what you can earn getting a side hustle. So you have things like online tutoring, being a virtual assistant is big, if you have the skills to become a part-time bookkeeper. But look, if you have any kind of skills at all, you can draw a cartoon, you can do a voiceover, you can write a blog. There's a great website out there called Fiverr, Fiverr. That's going to allow you to sell almost any skill that you have. And if you can teach a course, there's a great website called Teachable and Udemy out there where you can sell courses to other people.
What do you need to know if you decide to start a side hustle?
Well, there's a couple of simple things. You want to go to the Secretary of State's website here in Georgia and reserve the name of your business. After that, you want to make sure that you set up something, in my opinion, called an LLC or a limited liability company. This helps you separate your business and your personal finances and then set up a separate bank account and also a separate credit card. It's making a separation of church and state in your business. And I want to remind people that if you start one of these side hustles, guess what? The IRS is not going to take taxes out like they would on your W-2 paycheck. So it's incumbent upon you to set aside federal taxes, state taxes, and something called the self-employment tax. That's going to be important if you start up a side hustle.
Since we're on the subject of taxes, what about the new tax rules that went into effect?
Listen, I think this is the huge one for people starting up a side hustle, because a couple of years ago, the IRS started requiring third-party payment processors like Venmo and PayPal and Cash App to report payments for goods and services of $600 or more to the IRS through something called a 1099-K. Now, last year, the rule was you had to have roughly $20,000 of revenue and 200 transactions. The rule this year is that if you have $600 or more of transactions, eBay, Etsy, Airbnb, you name it, you're going to get a 1099-K. So I think people need to get their ducks in a row this year.
I was trying to think what sort of side hustle I could do, and I came to the painful realization, A, I have no talent, B, I have no skill, I have limited education, and I'm thinking that maybe I do have a lot of soaps and buckets in my garage. I could come and detail someone's car at their place of employment. Would you hire me, Ted?
I like that, Jeff. You do a video and a detail of the car with a celebrity like Jeff, and you charge them a few $100.
I could come and detail your 7 Series BMW. I would do a good job, I promise. Ted Jenkin, CEO of Oxygen Financial, as always, great to have you here.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.